Allies or Enemies, where we talk about board games and how they work for two players. Today we are looking at Terraforming Mars, designed by Isaac Fryxelius and produced by Stronghold Games. This 1 to 5 player game has quickly become a staple of the board gaming world. Players take on the role of one of many companies whose intentions range from mining to ecology to creating a giant reality TV show, all in an attempt to turn Mars from a red ball of uninhabitable rock to a livable planet. Although it won't be comfortably livable. Think if northern Saskatchewan and Utah had a baby. It combines multiple mechanics, including hand management, set collection, engine building, income management, and putting stuff on a cool map in order to make the planet livable and gain points to see your corporation rule supreme.
Terraforming Mars is easier to grasp than it may seem at first, largely because all of the pieces fit together so well. The core of the game can be broken into 3 key parts: the player board, where you keep track of all your various kinds of income, including credits, minerals, heat, and plants; the shared Mars board, where you place oceans and forests and raise the heat and oxygen levels; and finally, the cards, which control all that other stuff. Each turn, you add cards to your hand, pay to build those cards, and then benefit from whatever it is they do. Whether that's dropping an asteroid, harnessing geothermal power, getting some adorable pets, or creating your own interplanetary space force. Each of these cards interact with the game in different ways, adding to income, gaining points, raising levels, occasionally slightly annoying others at the table. The game ends once the heat, oxygen, and water levels have all been raised sufficiently. Then you add a few more points for milestones, cities, and a couple other things, and see who gets their logo on that newly livable planet.
While the mechanics are streamlined to a thing of beauty, that same beauty is not necessarily found in all of the pieces. As you've probably already noticed, the player boards are a bit flimsy, and it's not unusual to bump your entire income system into oblivion, though there are apps and dual-layer mats that you can find online. Also, the cards, while a decent quality stock, are almost all photos, which is going to be hit and miss for gamer tastes, though we got used to it quickly and now kind of love it. Check out that hilariously giant check. Those negatives considered, however, the board itself is terrific, with an accurate map of the Tharsis region of Mars, Olympus Mons, and all. And the oceans, forests, cities, and various special tiles all look great. The money cubes are also simple but effective and just a bit spacey.
Terraforming Mars is a particularly replayable game, which is in large part due to the huge stack of cards. And because those cards are so different, your playstyle and goals will also be different. This is furthered even more by the starting corporation. Some games, you might be a rich conglomerate getting expensive cards on the cheap. Some games, you might be a major energy producer, raising that temperature quickly. Or maybe you're focused on nature, or mining, or just doing a bit of everything. There are a lot of ways to play, and because of the variety in both what you draw and what you've already played, you can't replicate the same plan twice. There's also some built-in variety with the more cutthroat corporate era cards, all denoted with a little red circle, which makes it easy to switch to a friendlier, simpler version of the game if you want. On top of that, there's a bunch of expansions that add new maps or cards or modules. We highly recommend the Hellas and Elysium map pack that focuses on other parts of Mars and adds new milestones, as well as the Prelude pack, which kickstarts your corporation.
Terraforming Mars is a fantastic head-to-head game. Because the game end is based on shared goals, playtime shouldn't change too much. You'll just have more of a chance to get your stuff on the board, and likely a few more turns to build your electrocatapults or do some tundra farming. Basically, to build your card engine and add to your little world, which is satisfying. 2 players might be a smidge more of a duel, because you only have one other player to target with those plant-destroying asteroids, but that might actually lead to less hurt feelings, as you don't have a choice. And in most games, the take-that cards will be fairly few and far between anyway. We haven't played with 3, 4, or 5, but it is easy to see how it would scale just fine. The one-player variant, however, is pretty simplistic, so don't expect a full AI or anything. more of a solitaire points challenge to create your most effective engine.
It is easy to see how Terraforming Mars has catapulted itself into the core list of must-have games. Even despite those slidey player boards, it's always rewarding to put out those cards and have a big tableau to show for your efforts at the end of the game, and the shared central board creates a lot of interaction and encourages races to milestones or city spaces or increasing the right marker at just the right time. It really does feel like two corporations vying for dominance while being forced to begrudgingly work together. The complexity is going to be a bit high for newbies, but for anyone taking the next step, it may be a tiny bit of a reach, but you're going to have it down sooner than you think. And for any board game vets, if you don't own it, you really should. And that's it. Please let us know what you think of the game, maybe if you have some of the newer expansions, which ones you might suggest. Also, please do like and subscribe, and hopefully we will see you all next time for another game.